Hi folks, I'm the Bald Guy, and these are Bald Guy Basics. I actually recorded a video one day last week reviewing a small electric screwdriver, and I wanted to re-record it just to get things a little better organized. If you're building a toolkit and you are restricted on space, I admit that I'm not the average Joe in terms of having extra toolboxes. I'm not unusual, but I'm thinking especially of younger folks renting or buying your first house, buying your first toolkit. And especially I'm considering those of you who are really restricted on the money you can spend. I guess if I have one frustration with some of my online peers that do reviews, and they've done well, and I don't criticize the fact that they've done well, but when you're doing a review for the average Joe, which I consider myself to be, and your review is includes equipment that are tens of thousands or even $100,000 worth of equipment, I can't relate to it because that's not where I'm at. The average homeowner is going to spend in the terms of dozens of dollars rather than the hundreds of dollars. I received as a gift some years ago a 4-volt electric cordless screwdriver drill made by Ryobi, and this one is really neat. I've had this thing for years. It's 4-volt lithium, and it comes as a kit with a great little nylon pouch. The actual screwdriver itself has it looks like a long, maybe C-size battery, but it's a 4-volt lithium rechargeable battery. This kit came with 2 of these. Again, I've had this kit, well, I've had it since before 2014, so more than 10 years now. 12 or 14 years. The batteries still hold up. I charge this thing maybe once a year. So a lithium drill is always advantageous when you can get it. This kit, by the way, comes with a nice little accessory hard shell case with a number of bits as well as a bit extension. It comes with a second battery. This kit, the last I saw, is in the $80 range, plus or minus, depending on where you happen to find it. The guy who gave this to me, he didn't tell me what he gave, but he said, man, I found a real deal on these, and he bought several people this kit. Pause just a minute. Let me reach back here for comparative purposes. Here's my 20-volt matrix. This is the drill that I use most often because it's heavy duty. I can drive 3-inch decking screws with this for quite a while before my battery runs out. It's more power. It's also bulkier. It's more versatile all the way around. But if you're building your first kit, should you consider something small? I will say yes, with a slight asterisk beside of it. What is your need? If your need is to, now we replaced a deck here the other year, and like I said, I did some decking screws. I built a kind of a lean-to on the side of my lawnmower shed. I needed something with greater power and greater endurance. This thing will hold up a little longer than this, but a lot more power. But if your main job is, say, assembling an IKEA type piece of furniture and driving screws, this is a little 3/4-inch screw. These things work great. Now, I told you, the reason I'm reviewing this one is, number one, I've got it. I didn't have to go out and spend money for it. Number two, this is so handy. Sometimes the kids, we've got kids across 2 states, and at times I'll go and I'll be asked to help with a project. And depending on the project, if it's a small project, assembling a piece of furniture, this thing works great. The other reason, and I'm reviewing it, and some of you say, well, I don't want to spend $75 or $80 for a 4-volt screwdriver. The other reason I am reviewing this, because there are comparable units in other brands They don't use a lithium battery, so they're not rechargeable. They use AA batteries. So there's a cartridge that you actually pop into the bottom. You just replace some AA batteries, 4 volt. That's the reason I remade this video. I shot the video last week and was going to edit it today and upload it. But over the weekend, I was doing some shopping and I had to run by Walmart. And just walking back in the back part of the store towards some things back there, I passed the hardware section and I saw that they had roughly the same unit, same size unit, I should say, in their HyperTough brand, $15. So they will do 90% of what the average homeowner wants to do, you know, tightening up hinges on your cabinet doors, maybe drilling a hole into drywall for a little anchor to hang a picture or something like that. Don't discount the great usefulness of a smaller unit. One of the things to look for is what kind of chuck does it have. If you have a drill like this, the chuck actually screws in and it's so tight I can't move it. Well, that's embarrassing, but I'm not going to fight with it. But you understand how it just screws out. This one has a quick connect chuck. So what I did is grabbed a drill out of the drawer here. If you get a quick connect unit, every tool you use will have to have a hex head attachment. Now, all of your bits, they're hex heads, so that's not going to be a problem. But if you're going to use it for drilling, most people have drills that do not have the hex head attachment, the quick connect feature. So just be aware, if you've got, and I've got drill bits right here, if you've got you know, a little set of drill bits that don't have the hex head, you're going to need the screw-in chuck to be able to hold these things. However, I have a collection of, they're not expensive, these are Chinese things, but they're pretty handy in that with the hex head, you just pop it in. Now, where is my, well, I guess I'll do it here. I had a 2x4 here when I did this the other day, and I don't know what I did with it. It's probably over there on the bench, and I've been doing other things. Now, this is a furniture leg. I use this as a work station. I'll do it on the bottom here. It's really, really hard wood. My 4 volt, make sure I've got it in the right direction here. This is a 2-speed drill. Open my little, come on here. Oh, I actually locked it. So I'm taking, I need a small bit here. I'm trying to stay seated so I can stay in the camera frame. But let's see, make sure I'm still in the right direction. What I'm demonstrating here I've not charged this battery. I told you I charged it once a year. I did charge the other one the other day. They don't have a meter on them, so you can't tell how much charge they've retained. But when I made this video last week, it drove a screw right in. Now that was a pine 2x4. This is, like I say, hardwood. That's why you pre-drill your holes. Okay, so that's not a great result, but again, I am in a hardwood here, and I actually used a smaller drill bit. But on the pine, yeah, you're going to have to take my word for it, which is kind of embarrassing. On a 2x4, which is harder than your drywall, it's going to be equivalent to the studs in your walls. I'm able to drill and to drive screws in. However, this does demonstrate what this drill cannot do. At 4 volts, it's not going to drive things in with the same authority. Now, I'm going to, my hole that I drilled is here. I'm just going to go over here and force this screw to make its own hole. That's the difference. when you're dealing with, there are 12 volt, there are 16 volts, there are 20 volts, and yes, nowadays you can get even bigger volts. Let me take this out. When you're wanting to do something that requires real brute force, you're going to need a bigger unit. But for hanging pictures, for tightening, for assembly purposes, for space in a smaller toolkit, these units, which break down very easily, are pretty handy to have, especially if you're going to do something like the Hyper Tough unit that I mentioned. And that's just one brand that I saw that I could give you a nice, accurate price point at. These are pretty handy to have, and for all the indoor jobs that I do around the house, this 95% of the time is all that I'm going to need. So don't discount those cheaper units. If you've got a big job, you're going to need something that is heavier duty. Now the Ryobi will last for years. It even has the adjustable torque setting on the chuck, but it's limited in its strength. But it's not something to discount out of hand. So if basically what you're going to be doing is tightening things up or assembling some of these prefab type units, whatever it happens to be, a little unit like this, which just reversing what you've seen me do, I dropped my kit in it, and I've got paperwork in here is the other thing. It actually has a little pouch here that kind of serves as a holster if you want to fasten it in place. But now you've got a kit that no trouble at all. I can even throw extra drill bits in or other things as long as they're small. And this kit is really handy. Frankly, what I love about it, you've seen my shop. I have a small shop with a lot of tools. So, and my memory and my hair are in the same place, and that's somewhere else. I will put things away and I can't find them. But when I've got something in almost a neon yellow, it's really easy to spot. Sometimes it ends up in the cabinets on the wall. Sometimes it's on the shelf behind me. Sometimes I'll drop it into a drawer here in the big toolbox. And I'm able to find these brightly colored units a little quicker. So that's just a matter of preference for me. But for your purposes, if you're not doing heavy duty items, save yourself some money. And yes, even buy the AA battery size units that are not rechargeable. Most people have batteries just about all the time, and it will serve you pretty handily in most applications. Hope this informs you better. I am doing a little more stuff just now starting on my Bald Guy Facebook page. And what I mean by that, sometimes I'll be out and I won't, no editing, no music, none of that stuff, but I'll do a live video. So if you enjoy the videos, check out the Bald Guy page just for the updates. I don't do a lot of stuff beyond that, but there are a few, and that's just, it's a way of connecting a little more personally with those of you who are blessing me by watching the videos. Hope you'll subscribe. I hope you'll share the videos, and I hope I'll see you next time around. I'm the Bald Guy. Have a good day.